Kung ikaw may bingo, ako boom kunana.
Kasi alam kong doon ka talaga papanik sa kanya. Kasi pareho kayo eh, budol eh.
Budol?
Sabi niya, hindi pwedeng makapag-away mo, kaaway din ni Maharlika. Come on!
Come on. Hindi pa pwedeng kaaway ni Maharlika, kaaway mo rin. Come on.
Sino ba nagbigay nung mga screenshot sa Canada? Di ba si Maharlika?
Oh, sino daw ba nagbigay ng screenshot? Maharlika, totoo ba yan? Ikaw ba daw nag-feed? Yan ang sinasabi nito ni Bago Lipunan. Ina-accuse ka na ikaw daw ang nag-feed. Naku po. Maharlika, kakaiba ka pala tumira sa likod. Nagsusuot ka? Kakaiba ka eh. Nakatalikod ka tumira. Oh, ba't di mo diretsuhin? Tapos ngayon, binabalikan ka. Di pahiya ka ngayon.
Kinampihan niya ako. Kailangan makakuha ko agad yun sa mga DDS. Hindi naman ako DDS since 2016. Hindi naman talaga ako naging DDS. Miriam BBM ako eh. So paano nga? Paano ko nakuha yun? Galing sa kanya. Diba?
Ito pwedeng teorya dyan. It's either galing nga sa kanya noon at hindi yung recent. Dalawa yun. Diba? Kasi tandaan ninyo, noong time na yun, talaga sinisiraan ako ni Maharlika. Sinisiraan ni Maharlika si Mocha dahil binabanatan namin si BBM noon. Oh. Kaya maaaring ibinigay niya yan noon. But not at this time na napahiya ka sa debate. Diba? Wag ako. Mautak to.
So sabihin mo na hindi ako kinampihan? Wrong.
Wrong.
Eh? Wala ditong kinalaman si Banat Bay.
O ano walang kinalaman? Ako yung pinag-uusapan nyo. Kung kinampihan o hindi kinampihan. Tungkol sa debate nyo ni Banat Bay. Tapos sasabihin mo walang kinalaman si Banat Bay dito. Ano to? Sino kaway mo? Sino kaway mo? Si Banat Bayot? Hindi na naman ang kukote nito.
Okay? It's about yung paninindigan. Right? Ipagtanggol mo pa yung tao na paborita ay pork barrel, anong klase ka? Para ka ba talaga sa bayan?
Pork barrel.
Diba? Inaway mo si Lisa dahil sa tao na yun. O anong ibig sabihin yun? Kung si Thinking Pinoy may Mel Robles, ikaw rin mayroon ding Glenn Chong, ganon? Tapos sabi pa niya dito,
Kahit analogy yung pambobo. Iba naman yung kay TP at saka kay Mel, manager niya yun at ang bintang doon, pinagkakakitaan niya yun. Iba, pinagkakakitaan ba si Glenn Chong? Analogy yan, pantanga lang eh. Ano ba to? Ano bang, bakit, ano ganitong vlogger na to?
papaano nagawaan ka ng kabutihan ng tao, wini-welcome ka sa lugar nila, hindi ka pinagastos. Kaya kong gumastos, Pebbles.
Yan. Pumunta daw siya sa Amerika, in-invite daw ni Maharlika at sinasabi ni Maharlika kay Pebbles na hindi daw gumastos ito. Sinagot daw lahat ni Maharlika. Eto yung susuplak sa mukha ninyo. Mga sinungaling kasi kayo. Yan ang problema sa inyo magkakasama. Kayong mga pro-Marcos noon. Ngayon, napakasinungaling nyo, lumalabas tuloy. Tandaan mo, yan din yung sinasabing akusasyon ni Maharlika sa akin. Na siya daw ang nagbayad, siya daw ang ganito, pati daw pagkain ng Mocha Girls, pati daw pagkain ng ano. O di ba naalala mo? Yan ang pagbibintang nyo sa amin. Tama, mali. O. Ngayon, ikaw na pinagbibintangan. Sabi ko sa iyo, merong hustisya. May hustisya.
Okay? Tapos sa pababa dito, grow up bro, focus ka na lang tayo para sa bansa. Paano ka makaka-focus para sa tayong bansa kung ikaw may vested interest din?
Ngayon na naman si vested interest. Ano ba yung vested interest niya? Nga pala, gusto ng pwesto.
It's kawatan versus kawatan. Budol versus budol.
Budol versus budol.
Diba? Bakit ay mo amin?
Mas kuha ni Boss Dadayo, budol versus budol.
Inin Pebbles na nag-antay ka rin ng posisyon, na ganun ka kasipsip. Halata naman sa action niyo eh. Gusto niyo may kapalit, may posisyon. Ibahin.
Pebbles, gusto mo daw ng kapalit? May appoint? Gusto mo ba ma-appoint? Totoo ba yan? Pebbles? Pero parang wala akong narinig ganyan. Pero dapat sagutin nyo yan, kayo ni Maharlika. Sagutin nyo yan.
Ako, tumulong ako kay BBM na hindi ko in-expect na ma-appoint ko or whatever. Gusto ko lang sundin niya yung pangako niya. That's the difference between you and kayong mga grupo niyo.
Grupo nyo, ikaw yung nakikigrupo dyan dati. Ito pa talaga to.
Diba? Kayo naman ang lumapit sa akin eh. Even yung yung collab natin first time with Sas. Ayaw ko sa channel ko, gusto ko dun sa kanya. Pero bakit gusto niya dito sa akin? Bilang kaibigan, sige. Ako na lang mag-host.
Maharlika, ikaw daw pala ang lapit ng lapit kay bagong lipunan. Totoo ba yan, Maharlika? Hoy, sagutin mo to! Huwag kang tatahimik dyan. Pagka tumahimik ka dito, ibig sabihin, wala yan tapang mo. Yung tapang mo, kaya mo lang daw pala ginagawa yan tapang mo dahil gusto mo lang ma-appoint ni Lisa Marcos. Ngayon, kung talagang totoo kang tao at para sa bayan ka, sagutin mo to. Bakit? Sinasabi nito, lumalapit ka lang sa kanya, kailangan mo lang siya, ginamit mo lang siya, lahat-lahat. At ang tawag niya sa inyo, corrupt. Corrupt.
Sinunod ko naman lahat yung gusto niya, di ba? Even yung pag-takedown ng YouTube channel ni Ben Barubal, na para sa akin, kahit tirahin ako ni Ben Barubal, hindi ako napipiko, natatawa lang ako.
Oh, pina-takedown mo daw. Ikaw talaga, Maharlika, may kasalanan sa lahat na to. Sagutin mo to, pag di mo to sinagot, ibig sabihin, wala ka. Wala. Kasi, wag mo sasabihin na maliit na vlogger lang to, wag mo sasabihin na focus tayo sa issue ng bayan. Ito, issue ng bayan to. Bakit? It's your credibility ang naandi dito. Pag hindi mo sinagot to, yung credibility mo mawawala. Isa ka palang sinungaling. Yun ang totoo dito. Okay? Kaya dapat sagutin mo to.
Pero siya pikon. Inamin ba niya yan sa inyo? Hindi. Pikon po siya kay Ben Barubal.
Ay, pikon ka daw kay Ben Barubal? Maharlika, wala ka pala. Mahina pala yung EQ mo. Pikon ka pala. Mahina ang alam mo yung mga pikon, yan yung mahina ang emotional quotient. Kasi nga pikon, ang lakas mong bumanat. Yung pala, pikon ka pala. Totoo ba yan? Ay, sagutin mo yan. Pag di mo sinagot yan.
Okay? That's the difference between me and her. So, susumbatan tayo? Sumbatan tayo about dun sa
Ay, sumbatan na. Ito na. Gusto ko to. Sumbatan. Ito, favorite ko to sa lahat. Yung nagnunumbat ng Ito na. Pakinggan niyo, ha. Nagsumbatan na sila.
Nasaan kayo, Sas? Nasaan kayo yung ibang mga vlogger nung time na nag-isa lang siya? Laban kay Liza. Nasaan? Okay? The difference between me as a Marcos Solis at sa kanya, wala akong
Uy, huwag ka mangulangot! Sa live ka, nangungulangot ka! Pwede kang gumanyan, Mga yung ilong mo, pwede. Pero yung mangungulangot, dudukutin mo pa, tapos ibabato mo lang. Huwag naman kanong Yak! Yak! Huwag naman ganun.
Na posisyon. Gusto ko lang na gayahin ni BBM yung leadership ng kanyang ama. Yun lang. Pero yung may isisiksik ako na politiko, wala po. Kasi wala akong connection sa mga politiko. Hindi kagaya ng mga Iskonians, ng mga vloggers, wala. Kaya kayong nanonood, kung wala kayong protection kung wala kayong connection sa mga politiko, hindi rin yun alam sa likod ng camera ano nangyayari. At saka hindi kayo panatiko sa mga politiko. Pareho tayo dito ka sa channel. Pero kung ikaw po panetiko, doon ka sa...
Pagkamunti yung subscriber mo. Don't tell me... wala nang matinong Pilipino.
Kanilang channel. Hindi naman kayo welcome dito. Sabi ni Sol, I don't belong to any of you guys, Marlik at Bahuli Panan and other vloggers. I myself expected Glenn Chong to be appointed in Comelec.
Mas kamali siya ng basa.
Okay, pero alam niyo ba kung anong reason ni Liza? Diba? Sabi ni Ford,
munti ka na siya madulas doon, no? Alam niyo ba kung ano reason ni Liza? Kung ba't daw hindi in-appoint si Glenn Chong bilang Comelec chairman? Alam niyo ba? Alam niyo, dito nabubuking na siya. Nabubuking na siya na nakakausap niya si Liza. Liza na nga ang tawag eh. Hindi niya nga tinawag na kung ano man, di ba? Ano man tawag nila doon? Mamshi, ano ba tawag nila kay Liza Marcos? O hindi nga FL, ano ba? Iba pa tawag nila eh. Dito Liza na talaga.
Cliff, sayang sa inyong network. Uy, kamo na lang unta nabilin ba? Kamura na sa
Yan, Liza Smug, siya ang tawag nila, di ba? Hindi na ganun, ang tawag na lang yan, Liza.
Hindi, honestly, hindi ko talaga kayang pakisamahan yung mga ginagawa niya sa likod ng camera. Okay? Ibahin nyo lang ako. Kung ayaw nyo, go! Okay?
Go! Oh, umalis na yung mga tao sa'yo, huwag kang mag-alala. Babay na sila sa'yo.
So dito mga kaloy, sabi niya, winelcome ka sa lugar nila na hindi ka ginagastos.
Oh, ito na.
Sabi ko nga sa inyo, pag nagkumakain kami, di ba? Sabi ko, magkano ang share ko? Okay, sharing. Or nagbubunot din ako ng wallet. Ako magbabayad. Pero sabi niya, wag na. Di ba? Kaya ko naman yan. Eh kung titingnan yung mga kaloys, okay. See? Ito yung time na nag-meet kami. Yan yung reservation ko, oh. Saan pa ako pumunta? Oh, ang dami. Oh.
Oh, puro hostel. Sige, baba mo pa. Sigurado mahuhuli ka dyan kung saan ka pumunta. Oh. Oh. Ayan.
Since launching to ng Josh Drea, iaakyat namin ng level yung kilig.
Kamot na naman.
Huli. Hostel. Bakit ba hostel? Randall Bunagan, bakit hostel? Kaya kanina pinag-usapan niyan bakit sa hostel siya. Kasi sa hostel, sama-sama dyan. Yung mga common yan. Diba? Mas mababa pa daw yan sa motel, sabi ni Randall Bunagan. Bakit kaya siya sa hostel? Ako alam ko kung bakit. Diba? Pwedeng doon, alam mo na. Aside sa mura, walang pera, alam mo na. Hindi kaya meron siyang mga sa ilalim ng kumot na nagaganap, may mga ganon. Diba? So dito, pinapakita niya na siya ang gumastos. Tama, mali. Okay, let's give it to him. Ay, to her. Basta, whatever he or she is. Let's give it to her. Okay? I mean, him. Sige na nga, him. To Bagong Lipunan. Let's give it to Bagong Lipunan. Nagbayad siya ng sarili niyang hotel, nagbayad siya ng sarili niyang kung saan man siya pumunta. Pero this is the thing. Ito, makinig kayo mga kababayan. Dito, napapatunayan natin na yung sinasabi ni Maharlika noon na kesyo binayaran daw niya, pinapakarga ko daw sa opisina, isang kasinungalingan. Kasi dito, may lumalabas na may nagsisinungaling nga si Maharlika na ni isang kusing wala daw siyang ginastos itong si Bagong Lipunan. Nagbayad pala ng sariling hotel. Mamaya, ipapakita niya pa yan, nagbayad din siya ng sarili niyang eroplano. Nagets nyo? Pareho silang sinungaling. Correct. So, kinarma ka ngayon, Bagong Lipunan. Kasi yan ang pinagbibintang nyo sa akin noon, na si Maharlika nagbayad ng pagkain namin. Si Maharlika, mga siraulo nyo. Yan ang totoo. Kaya ngayon, ang tawag dyan, binabalikan kayo ng tadhana. Napakasinungaling nyo kasi sa akin. Diba? Napakasinungaling nyo sa akin. Kaya ngayon, ayan ang karma mo. Pinagbibintangan ka naman ngayon. O, diba? Anong pakiramdam? Wala. Nakikisakay ka lang pala sa kayamanan ni Maharlika. Nakikisakay ka lang pala sa mga kinikita ni Maharlika. Nagpalibre ka pala ng pagkain? Ay, grabe ka naman.
Diba? Playa del Carmen. Ito yung ginagamit ko. Yan o. Booking. Level 3 na ako. Kasi nga, diba? Can afford naman yun to eh. Right?
Puro
Tapos
hostel.
sabihin nyo, wala akong ginastos ni ano.
Puro hostel. Nakita niyo yung booking niya, puro hostel. Engineer yan, ha? Engineer yan. Dalawa pa nga ano niya, professor na, engineer pa, pero puro hostel. Hindi naman siya nilalait natin, ha? Puro hostel. Alam na. Alam na this. O, kayo mga taga-US, kayo mga taga-Canada, alam niyo yan. O, hostel na lang ang binabanatan. Tayo, Boss Randall, saan tayo nag-check-in? O, para ano, saan tayo nag-check-in, Boss Randall? Doon tayo sa wharf. Ha? Sa wharf tayo. Brad, wharf. O, doon sa Hollywood, saan tayo nag-check-in? Doon mismo sa harap ng Hollywood. Bakit? Ako kasi yung nilalait mo. Ako yung nilalait mo na walang diploma, na walang kung ano-ano. Ikaw ang may diploma. Saan ka dinala ng diploma mo? Sa hostel. Engineer ka. Engineer, ha? Oh. Sino maniniwalang engineer ka at professor ka? Anak ng engineer yan, Brad. Engineer yan. Walang kapera-pera. Anyari? Ha? Tapos kami pa yung walang pinag-aralan. Nagdadalawang buwan sa Japan. Naka-hotel. Sa Shinjuku. Hindi ko kami naka-hotel sa malayo. Oo, sa wharf kami. Sa wharf. Mismong tabing dagat. Para pagka ganun ko. Wow, ganun kaagad. Sandali ho ha. Hindi ho tayo nagyayabang dito. Lilinawin ko lang ha. Hindi po kami nagyayabang dito. Hindi ako nagyayabang. Bakit ko sinasabi to? Kasi nilait-lait ang yung diploma. Ang sinasabi ko lang dito, kung talagang engineer ka, namuhay ka sa OFW, yung mga, alam mo yun, ang dami mong pinagyabang eh. Ikaw ang nagyabang. Tapos hostel ka lang pala. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Malamang kasinungalingan lahat ng sinabi mo. Yun ang totoo. Tama, mali. Yun lang ang punto ko dito, hindi pagyayabang. Kasi ang sinasabi ko lang dito, wala yan sa diploma. Wala yan sa kung ano-ano. Pinagyabang mo pang may diploma at may utak ka. Kung may utak ka, hindi ka sa hostel. Sabi nito, na-check-in kami dyan sa wharf, ang mahal. O tanong ninyo. Si Boss Randall, alam niya kung magkano binayaran ko sa hostel. Sa hostel. Sa wharf. Alam niya. Kasi pinadala ko sa kanya yung booking. Kasi sabi ko, i-check-in niya na maaga dahil late kami darating. Gabi na.
Ni 5? Eh no, siya bang nagbayad niyan? Baka pati yung plane ticket ko. O, pakita ko sa inyo ha. Plane ticket ha. Yan ang ebidensya. Okay? Hindi yung dak-dak lang. Kasi marami ka nang nabudol. Yan o. LA, October 14 to 17, Expedia ginamit ko. Yan yung email sa akin, Roy Domingo. O, siya ba ang bumili? Sabihin naman nila, nasan credit card? Ayan, no. Kung i-click mo yan mga kaloys, dito papunta. Papuntang LA. Yan yung detail ng ratings ko. Okay, nandun yung pangalan ko.
Fake yan?
Nasa credit card ko po. Ayan,
Fake?
26, Flair Ticketing. 26 yung email. Oh.
700 lang ticket mo?
Sabihin nila, hindi ako, ano. Ang nakakasad lang
Baggage
dito
lang
mga
namin yan eh.
Siyempre, hindi ko tanggihan yung mga offers nila. Kasi baka ako, nabastos. Hindi ko naman nang hiningi yun. Okay, what's the difference between me and Thinking Pinoy na pinapalabas nila na gustong matulog or maghanap ng tirahan sa LA? No, hindi po ako ganun. Naka-reserve na po yan lahat. Eh, bago ko
Ayan, sabi ni Safety and Security Vlog, almost 500 na din yung tinulugan natin. Kahit si Safety Security Vlog, doon natulog. Kiniki namin, ako nag-check. Hindi usap pagka sinasabi ko lang mo ito para malinaw na hindi baka mamaya pagbintangan na naman si Safety Security ang nagbayad sa hotel. Hindi po. Nagkumuha ako ng sariling kwarto kasi pinag-drive kami ni Randall. So nagkumuha ako ng sariling kwarto para kay Randall at isinama niya si Safety and Security Vlog. Doon sila natulog, di ko alam kung anong ginawa. Biro lang po. Hindi ko sila nagtabi. Yan niya sa harapan mismo ng Hollywood. Pagbaba mo, ayun na. Doon na mismo. Flair, ang sinakyan niyang airline. Sabi, nakakatakot yan dito sa airplane, sa airlines. Bakit po ba natin, hindi man lang West, sabi nito. Huwag mo naman laitin yung aeroplano niya. Bakit yung aeroplano ba, hindi pa jack? O di hatak? Baka ginaganon yung hélice. Hindi, alam mo, sa totoo lang, kaya natin sinasabi to kasi yan po yung sinasabi natin na wag po kayong papasok sa kasinungalingan. Okay? Apusin na natin tong walang kakwenta-kwentang taon to. Bakit to? Pinasok kasi nila yung kasinungalingan. Ano yung kasinungalingan na yun? Kung ano-anong binintang nyo sa amin. Binintang nyo binabayaran kami. Binintang ninyo keso si Maharlika ang nagbayad. Ano ngayon napala ninyo? Diba? Kayo nag-aaway. Mukha kayong mga tanga. Yung kasinungalingan ninyo, kayo nagsisinungaling. Di mukha kayong eng-eng-eng yan. So na nga, magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Ako po si Banat Bayat ngayong araw na to. Magkikwentuhan na naman po tayo at bibigyan natin ng mga reaksyon natin sa mga balita at sa mga trending na nangyayari po sa ating bayan. At sabi ko nga, paulit-ulit, wag tatanga-tanga, paulit-ulit ha. Pag tama, palakpakan, pag mali, banatan. Hindi ho natin iisipin kung sino yung tao na yon. Basta importante, pag mali, banatan natin. Pag tama, palakpakan natin. Dahil hindi ho tayo panatiko tulad ng iba. Anyway, eto na nga, simulan na ho natin. Alam nyo, kasi ganito nangyayari. Patungkol ho dito sa ICC na ito. Sabi nga, 'di ba, yung kahapon pinag-usapan natin na itong si Roque ay may sinabi tapos pinabulaanan ng ni Panelo at ngayon naman po meron na naman pong sinabi si Roque at nakausap na naman daw niya ang ating Pangulo. Ano ho ba sinabi ni Pangulong Duterte? Di umano. At ito daw ang kanyang sinabi na kung sakaling siya ay huhulihin, hindi siya pahuhuli ng buhay. Ito kaya ay totoong sinabi ni Pangulong Duterte o hindi? Pero ako personally, medyo naniniwala ako dyan na sinabi ni Pangulong Duterte yan kay Roque. Kasi sinabi rin po yan sa akin nung huling nag-usap. At nabanggit nga niya po yan. So ibig sabihin, may malamang sa malamang, posible po sinabi niya kay kay Roque. Pakinggan po natin ha. Ito ho kasi ang issue kung yung tungkol sa ICC. Pasok.
Hindi raw magpapahuli ng buhay.
Romualdez sa FB, more than 30 posts na nakita ko using different pages and with different sponsors. Hala! Sabi ni, ano ba to? Yadnime. Okay? How, this government or now, kawawa mga tao doon na sa lanta ng calamity kapag gigil sila. Hi kay JNY Matthew B. New member siya. Hi! Sabi ni Dolce Vita, gamit nga pera ng bayan. Sabi ni Carlex, ni-report ko nga yung mga propaganda ads na yan. Sabi ni Jesus, dito si VP Inday kanina sa Masara, kaiyak damdam namin. Thank you VP Inday. Sabi ni Gigs, Santana, Erasmo, Maglasa. Ang haba ng name niya. Pero maganda naman. Sometimes, ayoko na makinig sa local news. Very discouraging talaga. Sabi ni Jess, it's better late than never ang prinsipyo ni Scam Video. From Davao de Oro. Uy, kamusta kayo dyan, Sir Jess? Okay pa kayo? Sabi ni Maricor, desperate na talaga si Tamba. Laki ng gastos. Sabi ni Ron, nagbarakay ka yata. Hindi, nagderma ako. Although, tuwan-tuwa ako sabi nung naggawa sa akin. Uy, ma'am, malapit na kayo mag-glass skin. Sabi ko, kala ko glass skin na. Okay. Sabi ni Ma'am Misha, ni Sir Michal, bakit wala ka doon sa prayer rally in Davao City? Bakit nga ba? Wala kasing pasabi. Well, for me, wala namang pasabi. Hindi kasi ako yung type na pupunta ng hindi inimbita. Nakakahiya. Although, kung kunwari, open siya, wala lang. I did not know about it until it was medyo late na. And, yun. Marami naman kaming hindi nandun. Diba? Although, the next time, I will try to make it. That's if, alam mo yan, nakakahiya yung sisingit ka na lang doon, papakita ka as if nagpapapansin ka. Jahe kasi, di ba? Sabi ni Chisa, glass skin. Excited na kami. Grabe. Ano ba? Talaga skincare ang pinag-usapan natin dito. Samantalang yung yung ating mga government officials. Yeah. Kaya nga ang title nito, Charmless Offensive. Walang ka-charm, walang ka-ano-ano. Parang very perfunctory. Ramdam ko talaga na kailangan nandito tayo. Okay, good showing. Parang pumapasok sila into hostile territory. Totoo naman. Politically hostile. However, bahagi pa rin yan ng Pilipinas. So kung pwede, yung response ninyo, wag naman yung pag-iisipan nyo pa how it looks. Never mind how it looks, tumulong na lang kayo. Sabi ni Ma'am Gina Fe, kasi alam ni wala siyang panalo at panama KBP Princess Inday Sara. That's why Tambaloslos, he did everything parang hindi niya matalino na ang mga taong bayan. Ngayon at gising na sa kanilang pambubudol. Sabi ni Chisa, good showing. Ako pa. Hindi. Malapit na ako masabihan na naman ng bitter ka lang kasi. Talaga, regardless. Para sa akin. Sige, isipin niyo na bitter ako. I really don't care. Ito, sabi ni Lutz, si attorney aiming for glass skin, sila kapal skin. Oy. Pero, yun nga, sagutin natin yung bitterness. Kahit parati ko siyang sinasagot, bear with me here. Bitter ka lang kasi, kaya ka ganyan magsalita. Bitter? Bakit ako bitter? Diba? Excuse me. Regardless of the manner in which I left government, I didn't speak out personally against the president and so on. I had a job, after all, waiting for me. And then you had me removed from my job. Tapos ngayon, gusto ninyo, hindi ako bitter. Funny. You know what? The scary thing is, when I'm angry, I'm better. So, sige, subukan ninyong galitin ako. As it is, I have so much patience. Sabi ni Brian Dexter, crocodile skin sila. Hermes brand. Oh, diba? Hermes. Sabi ni Al, kulang na lang yung ni Tambaloslos i-post dun sa FB pages niya. O nga eh. sabi ni, shout out kay Orange Miming 41. Pag naka-iPhone, hindi nyo makita yung sa new member. Oo, kasi, hindi, dun sa TikTok ako naka-iPhone, kukulitin nyo talaga ako dito sa membership. Sensya na po. Sabi ni Ma'am, ni Germa, hi, jahas din. Mukha na siyang ewan, kung maawa ang Diyos at magpresidente si Sara Duterte lumaya sa Pilipinas. Ay, siya pala yung pinag-uusapan. Akala ko kung sino. Sabi ni Jazz, mabuti pa mga local vloggers dito sa Davao, they initiated fundraising para pantulong sa mga nasalanta. May fundraising din po si Chrisette. Hintay ko pa. Racing para pantulong sa mga nasalanta dito sa amin sa Davao de Ore. Wala na pong baha pero maraming kalsada at tuloy po na nasira na hindi naman po madaanan. Hi kay Saldi Suarez, not Saldi ko, a new member. Thank you kay Ma'am Malu de Mesa. Sa pang press release daw, sabi ni Ma'am Gina, yung punta ni BBM sa Davao. Yung mga nagtatanong naman na uy, ikaw ba yung dating Spox? Pakisagot na lang, kaya nyo na yan. Hi, sabi ni Beauty Critique, what's the difference between subscribers and members? Para ito sa mga nasa YouTube. Sa YouTube po, may among others, may badges, may so on, and possibly. And meron silang yung live na members only. Although, as much as possible, hindi natin pag-iiwanan lahat ng mga nandito. Yung sa sa members only na live, they get to ask more questions. Sabi ni Ma'am Gina Fe, don't care bitter's word, attorney. At least you standing for what's right at importante, hindi ka nangulimbat sa taxes na. Totoo naman yan. Ang bitter yung mga taong junamils at palasubas na pulpolitikos. True. May saldi ko din daw na nakikita sa mga paid ads. Oh. Yes, Enrico says, si Direk Daryl Yap is donating din lahat ng kikitain dun sa Ensay Mother. So, meron siyang dalawang posts na videos called Ensay Mother tsaka Ensay Mother Part 2. So, in-announce niya na dun sa mga doon, sa manunood o magbibigay doon, do-donate niya directly dito sa mga nasalanta sa Davao. Sabi ni Ma'am Norma, alam mo, I really admire you. You're so matalino para di mo patulan ng mga taong walang pinag-aralan. God bless you. Aray, what's your opinion po about PRD's plan? Hi kay Chrysler06. Tinatanong niya something that we have discussed before. Sabi ko, we have to be very careful about that. He does not have a plan. What he did was to announce that he is looking into the possibility. He was very careful with his words kasi alam niya ang ibig sabihin ng inciting to sedition. Ngayon, yung mga tao na nagsasabi o nag-advertise na ganito yung sinabi niya at konbinsido na yan ang sinabi niya, kayo po ang nakakapahamak sa dating Pangulo para imbestigahan siya for inciting to sedition. He did not say that. Please be clear. He's looking into the possibility. Hi kay Jello, new member din. Sabi ni Orange Miming, wala nang ed sa People Power sa February 25, pero uusok na naman tumbong ng mga konta kay FPRD pag nagpunta siya sa Cebu Rally. Oo nga eh. Sabi ni Black Baron, worth 120k na daw po nalikom ni Direk sa Ensaymada para sa Davao. Opo. Sabi ni Amir, nag-grandstanding si Senator Tulfo, common sense daw, pero dun sa loto, tahimik siya. Natapalan kaya? Ay. Sabi ni Ma'am Bicolanang makulit, nag-overthink lang po sila sa sinasabi ni tatay. Oo. Or siguro, nasama na lang yung hopes and dreams na ihalo nila. Naintindihan ko naman na may aspirations tayo for Mindanao, pero wag naman natin idamay si Pangulo. Hindi po kasi pwede. Sabi ni Jelly Mons, ba't di na lang daw mag-initiate ng People's Initiative si FPRD to push for federalism? Kasi po, ayon sa Korte Suprema, ang People's Initiative ay limitado lang po sa mga amendments. Kapag nag-push for federalism po, hindi po ito pwede under that, pwede siya sa CONCON or sa CONAS. So, hindi talaga po pwede sa People's Initiative. Ngayon, ang isa pa po ay kung nakinig po kayo kay Pangulong Duterte noon, give up niya po yung push for federalism kasi ang dami pang kailangan gawin. Bukod pa dito, hindi po yata kayo aware na matagal na po tayong dumadahan-dahan towards that. Kaya meron tayong local government code that creates greater autonomy for our LGUs. Ito po ang initial steps natin to federalism and our boilerplate, kumbaga, or our experiment, kung kakayanin natin. So, ang problema is sa dami nga ng problema sa pag-execute nitong local government code, nakikita ni Pangulo na medyo malayo pa yung possibility ng federalismo. So, hindi siya po mag-aaksaya ng government funds pushing for something na hindi pa kakayanin at hindi pa dapat ngayon. Lalong-lalo na kung maraming mga separatist movements at saka insurgencies, hindi po tayo pwedeng magtulak noon dahil nagkakaroon talaga ng balkanism. So kung kunwari, mayroong kahit diminished ang force ng insurgencies natin, magko-concentrate lang po sila sa isang lugar at maihihiwalay nila ang isang estado natin. So dahil masyadong matindi ang concern sa national security, kung premature ang pagtulak ng federalismo, inabandona niya ito after masusing pag-aaral. Pwede pong bawiin ang pirma, sir, dito sa sa mga pumirma sa People's Initiative pero hindi na-explain sa kanila. So you have to execute an affidavit po at isusumiti ito sa COMELEC with a cover letter. Yung problema is, parang dalawa-dalawang isip ang ginagawa ng COMELEC dyan. Sinuspindi nila yung pagtatanggap ng mga signature sheets dahil sila daw ay nagre-revisa ng yung COMELEC Resolution 10560 ay i-revisahin pa daw nila para mayroon silang procedure para dun sa pagbawi ng signature. Although pinaalala sila ni Senadora Amy na itong proseso ninyo pagbawi ng signature masyadong mahirap. May gastos pa sa affidavit, kung ano-ano pang gagawin, samantalang dun sa pagpipirma, ura-urada, tinatanggap nyo naman. Sabi ni JTS, unahin muna ang interes ng bayan. PI is full initiative towards staying in power. Buwaya pa more. Sabi ni Chrysler, thanks for informing me. I really found hard to believe that PRD plans that. He plans to study it. Kung posible, gagawa ng paraan. Pag-aaralan din kung paano magiging, kung ano ang legal na paraan para dyan. Sa ngayon, base sa ating saligang batas and existing penal laws, mahihirapan po tayo maghikayat ng ganyan. So, kailangan ang hikayat ay aral. So, otherwise, magkakaroon ng charge ng inciting to sedition. Ngayon, may defenses naman si Pangulong Duterte, pero wag naman natin siya ilagay sa peligro doon sa doon sa ating dating pangulo. Sabi ni Faye, Attorney Harry said they can collate a list of signatories para mabawi o ma-invalidate nila with relevant department. Sabi ni Ma'am Ruby, sayang si PBBM is squandering this opportunity to rehabilitate the Marcos name and legacy. Isa din akong nabutol. Anong sinasabi ni Samin? Ma'am Samin, sa totoo lang, hindi ko sana planong magbukas ng membership. Nangungulit lang yung ibang mga tao because they wanted to help. So, nakakahiya naman na magbibigay sila tapos wala akong mapanukli man lang sa mga ito. So, unfortunately, well, ang gagawin ko naman is that probably they will get the info earlier but that they will, they get to ask more questions. So, yun lang po yung difference. Ang problema nga po kasi is there was really no plan. Hi kay gang, thank you. Yung iba naman kasi nagpapa-member sila bilang tulong. So, pagkaganyan daw, sabi ni Greenville, pagkaganyan kahirap ang pagbawi ng pirma, paano yung mga no read, no write na IPs na pinagpirma nila? Yun nga po, issue din po yan. Sabi ni LZ Bebs, ano nangyari sa hearing sa Lotto? Palabas lang. Parang tahimik pa po. Sabi ni Adrian, kung noon ang tanong ay nasan ang Pangulo, ngayon ay sino ang Pangulo? Adrian, akit ka na. Chikahan tayo dito. Sabi ni Faye, PRD, di daw papahuli ng buhay. I can't forget his advice sa sundalo ng buhay sa mga terorista that they should have a spare gun para magharakiri pa sa bayan kaysa unahan sila ng kalaban. Aray. Sabi ni Jose, doomed to fail daw ang secession. Bakit? Kailan sinabi na secession? Sabi ni Ryan Doy, yung kilala ko na pumirma sa PI para sa ayuda, just said, matanda na ako, basta mabigyan lang ako ng grasya galing sa gobyerno, masaya na ako. Naku, na ano siya. Mahirap mahirap marinig yun. Sabi ni Jean, nasa party ang Pangulo. Sabi ni Bayaning Pinoy, good evening. My question is, possible kaya na mapalitan ang pambansang hayop to a tarsier? Official ba yung pambansang hayop? Meron bang batas? Check nyo muna kung may batas. Kasi kung walang batas yan, actually nung nag-start yan, pambansang so and so, konti lang yan, and then merong mga kung sino-sino na nagdagdag. Tapos, without checking, na-include siya sa DepEd curriculum somehow, sa araling panlipunan, and it gained the life of its own. So, ang mga official lang ay those that are covered by law. Sabi ni Dopo, magkano po kaya nagagastos sa isang hearing? Hearing ng ano po? Sabi ni Pinoy ako, nakarating sa bahay niya yung papirma na yan. Pinagalitan lang ng mama niyan yung nagpapapirma. Sabi ni Ma'am Marilu, sa mga hindi pa subscriber, please subscribe po tayo and hit the notification bell para ma-update if may live set. Maraming salamat. Kinikilig naman ako sa mga tulong ninyo. Maraming salamat po. Sabi ni Ayan, si PBBM kasi may speech about secession. Halatang di nakinig sa speech ni FPRD. O nga eh. Sabi ni Ian, ano po expertise ninyo? Ako? Guys, may gustong sumagot dito? Are you asking my expertise? Let me just give you my educational background, but I will tell you what my expertise is after. Okay? I graduated with a degree in linguistics from the University of the Philippines. I have unfinished pa ang aking minor in international relations from the University of Minnesota. I have a law degree. I passed the bar in 1997 from the University of the Philippines. I am in doing my thesis for my completion in a master's degree in, seatbelt ka muna, archaeology. I was commissioner of the National Commission for Culture and Arts from 2004 to 2008. Before that, I was their legal counsel. I have been practicing law since 1998. Now, is there anything, what are my expertise in law? Military law? Well, yes. And conservation law. So, any other questions? So, sabi ni Saldi, doon din po sa oh yes, by the way, communications as well. Sabi ni Saldi, doon din po sa barangay namin may dumating na PI na yan. May nagsabi na galing kay Kong Loyola ang mga papel daw. Ooh. Sabi ni Jenny Matthews, ang taray! O ano mga trolls, laban kayo? Sabi ni Yuan, how's your relationship with the president at the moment? I haven't spoken to him since I left Malacanang. In fact, I hadn't spoken to him when I left Malacanang. Sabi ni Black Baron, wow, archaeology, yan din gusto ko, kaso sana napunta ako sa ibang course. You're welcome, Ian. Sabi ni Genevieve, how to be you? Uy, over. Wala lang akong magawa minsan. So, I study. Walang magawa. Oo. Kasi, ganito yun, ano. When I work, I usually work, you manage your time, ratatin mo yung trabaho mo, and then you get a lot of other time. And so you can do things like study archaeology. Sabi ni Taparan, is this your new vlog? Kagigising lang po. Thursday, 7:44 a.m. Uy, nasaan kayo? Vancouver. Sad na wala na kayo sa Karambola. You're fanatic from Vancouver. Ingat at mabuhay kayo. Hi po. Well, it's not a new vlog. I've been vlogging since 2017? Pero mostly it was on Facebook. So now I have this one on YouTube, and I also have hi, everybody say hi in TikTok. And of course, still doing live on FB. Sabi ni Black Baron, grabe educational attainment ng mga digong defenders. O, tignan mo si Sas, Masters with Honors, ha? In International Relations. That's why I always defer to Sas pagdating sa international relations. Although, yun, pagdating nga dun sa sa international law, and mas magaling pa rin si Sas. Pero, yun, masaya siya. Masaya yung Sabi ni Ma'am Flora, when we hear from you sharing your knowledge, happy na kami. Hi kay Dolce Vita, sabi niya, supporter po kayo. Sabi ni Ma'am Malu, I wrote a grab just now. He said that he heard lalong magkakagulo daw because the heads in various camps are recruiting soldiers to reinforce them. I asked for whom? He said for PBBM. I actually heard something similar to that. I have no evidence yet, but I assume that it is logical to think that. Logical kasi, syempre, maraming tao, hindi naman sila bingi. Naririnig naman nila yung mga sinasabi ng mga tao na just short of people power. Medyo tumataginting na, Pebrero pa naman ngayon. Diba? We also know of a former president na ano din siya, no? She took over from another president, and what she did bago siya umalis sa opisina ay supposedly ingratiated herself to some very junior officers and mid-level officers para kung sakasakali ay hindi naman siya girahin after she leaves office. So medyo logical naman kung yun ang magiging move nila. It doesn't mean it's right, ha? Kasi isipin mo, ang presidente, commander-in-chief na yan. Presumed na ang loyalty to the Republic and the Constitution. Unfortunately, the Constitution also says that the AFP is the protector of the people and of the state. So, I understand that rumor, carries the weight of logic, if not of facts yet. Hello mga kalumins, sabi ni Amit, paalala lang po, maximum of 3 emojis lang at no all caps, please. Sanay na sanay si Amit. Uy, sa karambola po yung 3 emoji. Kasi ang hilig mag-emoji talaga dun sa karambola. I had to put my foot down. Grabe kayo. Malaki-laki pa makukarap sa kabanang bayan under BBM admin ng kung sino man. Halila. Okay, teka. Ano yung... Bakit may ano yung ibig sabihin ng ano? Grabe, I'm so new to TikTok. Sabi ni RJR, ayaw ko na po sa karambola. Dito na lang ako kung saan kayo. You guys are so sweet. Pero minsan-minsan silipin niyo naman si na Boss Conrad. None of us like what happened. None of us wanted this to happen. So, meron talaga na na existent na whatever threat. So, wag na po natin awayin sila. Last questions time. Opo, number 1. Yes po, ako po ang dating press secretary. Frequently asked question number 2. Opo, wala na po ako sa karambola. Ako po ay napilitang umalis. Di ba? Dahil hindi po ako galit. Sabi ni Bayaning Pinoy, wag po magalit sa kanya. I asked Tarshiers, pambansang hayop. Kasi yun ang tawag ng ibang vlogger. Oh, I didn't get it. Uy, grabe kayo. Grabe. I understand the sentiment. Okay, ganun na lang ang sabihin natin. I understand the sentiment. Sabi ni Face, digital martial law is real, something na never natin anticipate nung kampanya ni. Alam mo, oo nga, para dun sa mga nanonood sa atin sa Facebook, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga nanonood sa Luminous na page sa Facebook, pasensya na kayo, kayo uli, pasensya na po uli. Kasi, tinrattle na naman kami ng Facebook, pero pag tinignan mo, wala naman siyang dahilan. In fact, ang sinasabi nila is, for a that they already punished me for 6 months ago. So, hindi ko po naiintindihan bakit natrattle uli ako sa Facebook. So, doon na lang po sa meron naman pong isa pang page which is Trixie Cruz Angeles. Tapos, if you search for it, it's at Luminous 2, I think. So, bakit daw Luminous ang name? That was the name of the Facebook page before. Kasi, I had been with the NCCA for so long. The reason I was lawyer for the NCCA was because I also have a background in the arts. So I was already writing even before. I have published short stories. I wrote poetry, wrote past tense, mahirap ngayon, and so on. And well, my kids are better at me now in the music aspect. I used to sing
You won't believe what this World War II aircraft carrier crew member does to put out the fire on this F-6F Hellcat. The quick-thinking crewman grabbed a fire extinguisher. Ignoring the inferno, the crew member jams the fire extinguisher nozzle into the cowling before the engine blows. But what are we missing? The engine is still running, and the propeller is still spinning, just inches from this crewman's head. Many consider pilots to be the heroes, but in this case, we gotta take a closer look. You won't believe what this world...
Sir, last na lang, ano po yung inyo pong birthday wish na lang, sir?
Ano?
Birthday wish, sir.
Ay, nako. Maging maayos na ang agrikultura. At malaman na natin kung ano ba talaga ang weather. Wet season ba o dry season? Para naman matulungan natin yung mga farmer natin. Yun lamang naman ang aking panalangin pa rin hanggang ngayon. Maraming salamat.
Thank you. Sir, last na lang, ano po yung inyo pong birthday wish na...
Welcome back to our channel. We all encounter spiritual battles, and if we desire victory in this war against the enemy, it is crucial to understand his capabilities. Have you ever wondered what Satan is truly incapable of doing? Do you want to know the boundaries of Satan's power and how it affects spiritual battles? In today's video, we will present 5 things from the Bible that Satan is incapable of doing. By the end, you will be confident that if you remain steadfast in your faith with God, the devil will be unable to defeat or destroy you. It's important to acknowledge that people often emphasize the power and influence of the enemy, creating the impression that he surpasses Jesus in strength. While Satan possesses power, it is limited because God is ultimately in control. The devil can only act within the boundaries permitted by the Lord. Therefore, pay close attention to today's message, as it will greatly impact the spiritual battles you face daily. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit notification bell to stay tuned for more powerful teachings and insights. Our goal is to assist you in your spiritual journey every day. Now, let's proceed to the first point. Satan cannot tempt you without God's permission. Allow me to read a well-known passage from Matthew. It illustrates that Jesus, led by the Spirit, entered the wilderness to be tempted by the devil after fasting for 40 days and nights. The devil approached him when he was hungry and said, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become bread." Jesus had gone to the desert to spend solitary time with his Father and prepare for his ministry of 3.5 years. At the end of his 40-day fast, who appears to tempt him? Satan, the devil. The devil wanted Jesus to satisfy his hunger, a natural desire of the flesh at that moment, by turning stones into bread. However, Christ resisted because he understood that such an action would demonstrate a lack of trust in the Father. Similarly, today, the devil continues to tempt us. Nevertheless, as I mentioned earlier, he can only do so with God's permission. And God grants permission only when he knows we have the ability to resist. Let's examine what the Bible states. It affirms that no temptation has overtaken us that is uncommon to humanity. God is faithful and will not allow us to be tempted beyond what we can handle. Moreover, when we face temptation, he will provide a way for us to endure it. The second point is that Satan cannot read our minds. This is a common misconception among Christians, leading to fear and even depression. However, it is important to recognize that regardless of how observant and attentive the enemy may be, he lacks the ability to read our thoughts. The Book of Kings emphasizes that only God, residing in heaven, possesses the knowledge of our hearts. He alone comprehends the inner workings of the human mind, including our most intimate thoughts. During Jesus' earthly ministry, he demonstrated the ability to perceive people's thoughts in various instances, discerning their intentions. Jesus even knew that Judas would betray him with a kiss. In the present day, Jesus continues to examine the thoughts and desires of our hearts. Despite the devil's inability to read our minds, we should not become complacent. The enemy has been studying human behavior since the time of Adam and Eve, and he is well acquainted with how each individual tends to respond in different situations. He understands our sinful nature and can anticipate if we are on the brink of succumbing to temptation or making poor choices. This is why the Bible compares him to a prowling lion, seeking someone to devour. Therefore, it is crucial to remain vigilant. The third point is that Satan cannot compel us to sin. Another aspect that Satan lacks the ability to do is to force us into committing sins. Let's refer to the passage in James. It states that when we are tempted, we should not attribute it to God, for he cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. Rather, temptation arises when we are drawn away by our own evil desires and enticed. When desire takes hold and gives birth to sin, and when sin reaches its fullness, it leads to death. This passage reveals that temptation stems from our sinful desires. However, it is essential to understand that being tempted is not inherently sinful. Sin occurs when we yield to temptation and engage in actions that are disapproved by God. Though Satan can influence the thoughts and hearts of individuals who have not fully surrendered to Jesus, as Christians living under God's grace, we cannot be coerced by the enemy into sinning. So, why do we continue to sin? It is due to our personal weaknesses, desires, and our failure to seek God, as we should. Jesus taught that whoever lives in sin becomes enslaved by it. Therefore, we must be cautious not to return to the sinful lifestyle we had before. Now, let's move on to the fourth point. Satan cannot make you suffer without God's permission. Do you recall the story of Job? The Bible recounts that Job was a man of integrity, fearing God and turning away from evil. God himself affirmed that Job was the most righteous and upright person on earth during his time. One day, a gathering took place in the heavenly realms, and God's angels presented themselves before the Lord. Among them was Satan. He asserted that he had been observing Job and requested permission to bring suffering into his life, claiming that Job's faithfulness was solely due to his wealth and blessings. God granted Satan permission to test Job, allowing him to affect everything Job owned, except his life. With God's consent, Job lost his livestock, and his servants were killed. Tragically, Job's children, who were gathered at their siblings' house, perished when a powerful wind toppled the house upon them. Despite these devastating losses, Job remained resolute in his faith. Eventually, God restored everything Joe had lost and blessed him doubly. However, it is crucial to comprehend that the enemy cannot inflict pain and suffering upon us without God's permission. Therefore, when circumstances do not go as expected, and you find yourself facing adversity, remember that the Lord is in control of the situation. Understand that your tears will come to an appointed end. Similar to Job, even amidst the darkest moments of his life, do not cease to praise and worship the Lord. Job never wavered in his belief in God's power and goodness, despite experiencing internal and external destruction. The fifth point is that Satan cannot hinder your salvation. When Peter was on a missionary journey, he proclaimed to the temple priests and the people of Israel that it is through Jesus Christ of Nazareth, whom they had crucified but whom God raised from the dead, that healing and salvation are found. Peter emphasized that Jesus, whom the builders rejected, has become the cornerstone, and there is no other name under heaven by which mankind can be saved. At that moment, Peter was moved by the Holy Spirit to demonstrate to the Jews that only Christ has the power to save. It is important for you to grasp this truth. Just as Satan cannot save us or grant eternal life, he also cannot prevent us from receiving salvation. Only we can allow that to happen when we drift away from God. Therefore, my brother, do not be deceived by those who claim that all paths lead to God and that everyone will ultimately be saved. Jesus alone is the way, the truth, and the life. Amen. We want you to understand that no matter how challenging a time you may be going through, and despite the whispers of doubt from the devil, suggesting that God does not exist or does not care about you, do not lose your faith in the Lord. He is the only one who will never abandon you, and he has already demonstrated his immense love by sending Jesus to die on the cross in your place. No matter how much power Satan may possess over the earth and his ability to bring harm to humanity, he is completely limited and cannot harm those who are born of God because the Lord protects them. Therefore, my dear brother, remain steadfast in the ways of the Lord, obey his word, and pray daily. In doing so, the enemy will never have power over your life. Amen. If you found this message meaningful, I encourage you to share it with your friends and family. I will be here in the next video. May God bless you.
Chowking Laureate. Kumpletong sarap with our 6 favorites in one plate. Kumpletong saya. Let's Laureate together.
A scientist wearing thick-lensed glasses and a black t-shirt with a UFO and the words "I want to believe" on it puts both hands over the headphones he's wearing. His eyes open wide. He can't believe what's being picked up by the array of radio telescopes outside the window. He rips his headphones off and runs to the lab where the rest of his colleagues are gathered. "You guys really need to hear this," he pants as he bursts into the room. The scientist turns on the speakers, and they all listen. The sound is not natural. Alien contact has been made. The scientists at the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, also known as SETI, scramble to follow protocol. Now that they've identified an alien signal, what they do next will determine the fate of the planet. There are procedures in place to ensure contact has actually been made, and the signal is not just a fluke, but the steps that follow are only known to the people who have the highest security clearance in the country. 1 minute after first contact, the signal is double-checked by everyone at the observatory to make sure it's not coming from a human-made object or the result of a natural phenomenon. The scientists try to disprove that the signal is alien in origin, but can't. 2 minutes after first contact, the scientists at SETI reach out to their colleagues around the world by phone and over the internet. They tell them exactly what frequency to listen in on and where to point their telescopes in the sky. Everyone holds their breath as scientists across the planet try and corroborate the results. 3 minutes after first contact, time slowly goes by as the SETI scientists who first found the signal try pointing other devices at the sky and get further readings. They can't believe the data that's coming in. There is something there, really, really big, and they've ruled out it's an asteroid or a comet, as the object is not giving off enough light, and the signal keeps repeating itself. 4 minutes after first contact, Results start coming in from around the world. Europe confirms that there is something anomalous in that part of the sky. Stations in South America, Africa, and Russia also confirm the signal is coming from something very large, headed directly towards Earth. The rest of the planet is facing away from this part of the sky, but as Earth rotates, they'll be able to confirm the alien presence as well. 5 minutes after first contact, the signal has been confirmed independently from multiple sources. Luckily for the scientists at SETI, they have friends at NASA who were able to turn the Hubble telescope directly at the unidentified approaching object. The thrusters on the side of the Hubble fire, repositioning the satellite. The scientists at NASA and SETI look at their monitors. As the blurry image comes into focus, what they see shocks them. Everyone stops what they're doing and stares silently at the monitor. For the first time in history, humans are seeing an alien spacecraft heading toward Earth. 6 minutes after first contact, no one can move, no one can think. The ramifications of the discovery of extraterrestrial life are overwhelming. Suddenly, there's a loud pop. One of the scientists stands in the doorway. She has a bottle of champagne in her hands. Bubbles run down the side. "Congratulations, everyone, we did it," she says. The scientists look at each other and let out a cheer. 7 minutes after first contact, scientists at SETI and NASA spring into action. "We need to alert the president," someone yells. "And the Secretary of Defense," shouts another. They pick up the red phone sitting on a desk and dial a number that's only supposed to be used in emergency situations. The phone rings. 8 minutes after first contact. The Secretary of Defense picks up the phone. "I'm busy right now, what is it?" A gruff voice says on the other line. "Sir?" One of the scientists stammers. We found something." "What are you talking about?" the Secretary of Defense asks, sounding a little annoyed. "Aliens, sir. There are aliens headed toward Earth," replies the scientist. "Whoever gave you this number is going to be arrested and put in jail for a very long time. You do not prank call the Secretary of Defense. The FBI will be at your door within the hour. Goodbye." He slams down the phone. The line goes dead. 9 minutes after first contact. The scientist stands motionless with the phone to his ear. There's nothing coming through but the sound of dial tone. As he puts the phone back in its cradle, he whispers, "The Secretary of Defense didn't believe me." Everyone at SETI looks at him in disbelief. A few seconds go by. The light on the emergency phone begins to blink. The scientist slowly reaches out his hand and picks up the phone. He places it next to his ear. "Why didn't you tell me there was an alien invasion knocking on our door?" the Secretary of Defense screams. "Get your team to DC immediately. We're putting the first contact protocol into place. Do not tell anyone else about what you found." The line goes dead once again. 10 minutes after first contact. Protocol dictates that no response to the signal should be sent back to the aliens before further information can be gathered. It's clear that the alien ship is headed straight toward Earth, but we still don't know if the aliens are peaceful or come with hostile intentions. The Secretary of Defense informs NASA to keep an eye on the ship and keep him updated if anything changes. He's about to meet with the president and other military officials. 15 minutes after first contact. The chiefs of staff and the President of the United States sit around a table deep in an underground bunker. The alien ship will reach our atmosphere in a matter of minutes. At this point, the only people who know about the aliens are the scientists at SETI, the colleagues they reached out to, and the U.S. government. But this won't be the case for long. The U.S. needs to figure out a game plan before reaching out to its allies. Luckily, there's a top-secret contingency plan in place for first contact with aliens. The President and the Cabinet conclude that they'll try reaching out to the aliens before alerting the world of their presence. The only problem is the government has no idea how to make contact with a highly advanced alien race. It does not seem that the alien ship is hostile, but they need to be sure. The government knows chaos will break out as soon as the word gets out about the aliens. Before that happens, they need to know as much about the visitors as possible. The President orders NASA to start transmitting to the alien craft. Most of the transmissions are number-based, as math is considered the language of the universe. Binary code seems like a good place to start. So NASA sends a signal containing a repeating series of pulses toward the alien ship. There's no response. The vessel just keeps flying toward Earth. 20 minutes after first contact. There's been no response from the alien ship. It's likely that almost every government around the world now knows the aliens exist, as anyone SETI reached out to earlier when they first discovered the signal has now contacted their respective. Happens, they need to know as much about the visitors as possible. The President orders NASA to start transmitting to the alien craft. Most of the transmissions are number-based, as math is considered the language of the universe. Binary code seems like a good place to start. So NASA sends a signal containing a repeating series of pulses toward the alien ship. There's no response. The vessel just keeps flying toward Earth. 20 minutes after first contact. There's been no response from the alien ship. It's likely that almost every government around the world now knows the aliens exist, as anyone SETI reached out to earlier when they first discovered the signal has now contacted their respective officials. The United States reaches out to its NATO allies and informs them of their decision. It's time to start mobilizing defense forces just in case the aliens attack the planet. We don't want to provoke the aliens or inadvertently threaten them, so all military branches are kept on standby once they're in position. However, at a moment's notice, every NATO military force can be launched at the incoming alien ship with swift speed and deadly force. But it's made absolutely clear to everyone that the last thing the human species wants is to provoke a technologically advanced alien species that may be coming in peace. 25 minutes after first contact, all NATO forces have been briefed, and troops are deployed to New Mexico as the alien ship seems to be headed for the array that first picked up the mysterious signal. The United States reaches out to the other powers around the world. China and Russia are brought up to speed. It's not that the US is allying with these countries, but they want to make sure everyone knows that the unidentified object entering Earth's atmosphere is alien in nature and not a new technology created by the United States or their allies. The last thing humans need is an accidental war breaking out because someone thinks they're being spied on by a high-tech vessel and opens fire on the alien craft. To prevent this scenario from unfolding, the United States shares their data on the alien ship but keeps their tactical plan a secret. Unfortunately, what is about to happen next will cause people around the world to start panicking. 30 minutes after first contact, the alien ship is about to enter the Earth's atmosphere. The government can no longer keep this secret from the people. In preparation for what's to come, the Secretary of Defense informs police departments across the country to put every officer they have on duty. They must be prepared to stop the looting, the rioting, and the chaos that's about to break out. Unfortunately, this contingency plan needs to be in place because analysts have concluded that alien contact will lead to mass hysteria among the populace. Every law enforcement officer, military personnel, and everyone in the reserves are briefed by their commander before the president addresses the nation and informs them of what's happening. The public should hear it from him before the media starts inflating the situation to boost their viewership. The president broadcasts on every radio and television station. The video is live streamed on internet websites. He reads from a pre-written script. Although he tries to remain calm, there's a sense of urgency in his voice. Everything is about to change forever. Other leaders from around the world also address their citizens. Many people can't believe an alien ship is about to enter Earth's orbit, but others begin to panic and take drastic actions. Even with law enforcement out on the streets, there is too much confusion and panic. 45 minutes after first contact, a lockdown is put into place. Everyone is asked to remain calm and stay in their homes. Many people listen to the president, lock their doors, and board up their windows. This isn't necessarily to protect themselves from the aliens, but from others of their own species. Those who don't adhere to the lockdown are rounded up by law enforcement or left to their own devices. Either way, the next phase of the first contact protocol is about to begin. The aliens are here. It's time to figure out exactly who they are and what they want. 60 minutes after first contact. There's been no response from the alien ship yet. This is not surprising since we've only tried a few types of communication. However, now that they're almost to Earth, there are some other options. The alien vessel passes the International Space Station. The astronauts on board relay whatever information they can gather about the spaceship back to Earth. However, since they're in orbit, they only get a passing glance at the alien craft as it enters the atmosphere. A fireball forms around the ship as the friction between the atmosphere and the high-tech alloys begin to heat up. The vessel stops 10,000 feet above the surface of the Earth. The United States sends a reconnaissance plane to gather information about the vessel. The aircraft is not armed because we definitely don't want to make the advanced alien ship think it's under attack. Troops are deployed underneath where the UFO is floating. They gather any debris that might have come off upon entry through our atmosphere and bring it back to the research facilities for analysis. The first contact plan hinges on humans gathering as much data as possible about our visitors to best be ready for whatever's about to come next. 90 minutes after first contact. It's now clear that all the nations around the world need to work together to uncover the intentions of the aliens. Information flows freely between countries, regardless of prior political differences. The United Nations serves as a hub for the exchange and sharing of data. New ways to make contact are implemented, using equipment such as bright lights, radio antennas, and devices that can transmit signals at different frequencies. Scientists, linguists, and mathematicians try to figure out some way to communicate with the aliens. Large screens project images that convey peace and universal symbols like the shape of an atom in hopes that we'll get a response. There's no guarantee that any of these things will work, but we have to keep trying. Otherwise, humanity's first contact with aliens will fail. There are two scenarios that could unfold with the aliens at this point. So far, the protocol for first contact has been carried out as planned. When contact was initially made, multiple independent scientists were informed and confirmed the signal was in fact alien in origin. Then the government was contacted, and they took action around keeping the public calm while gathering as much information as possible on the aliens. Now, based on the response of the extraterrestrials, the final part of the plan can be implemented. 24 hours after a peaceful first contact. Even though the aliens have not responded, this is a win for the humans. It means they likely don't have any hostile intentions, and we haven't done anything to provoke them into violence. It's also possible that the extraterrestrials have been sending a return message, but we just haven't discovered or deciphered its meaning yet. We probably won't understand the response right away, but given time, our scientists will figure out its meaning, and a dialogue can begin. The most likely scenario in this situation would be that the aliens would figure out a way to communicate with us long before we figure out a way to communicate with them. So they would end up solving the problem for us. The fact that they've traveled light years to get to our planet means they're vastly more advanced than we are. They'll likely have technologies we can't even dream of, one of which might be a universal translator or a way to dumb down their communication methods to our levels. 48 hours after a peaceful first contact, scientists begin to get results from the initial alien signal that they fed into computers. The patterns in the signal sent by the aliens are quantified and laid out in a way to find repetitions and meaning. The data deciphered by our computers is shared with other scientists worldwide as we look for a way to make sense of the codes hidden within the alien signal. Now that the alien ship has stopped moving, the military has set up a full perimeter around it. The streets are empty, shattered glass from storefronts line the sidewalks, abandoned cars sit lifelessly on the roads. People everywhere are glued to their screens as they watch the events of history unfold between humanity and the first intelligent life we've ever come into contact with. As time goes on, the only thing anyone's talking about is the aliens and their ship. Doomsday preppers assume the end has come and hunker down in their bunkers. Many people have locked their doors and await further instructions from world leaders. Others are making their way to the location of the alien craft so they can see it with their own eyes. They're stopped miles from its location by military personnel blocking all routes that lead to the ship. The first contact protocol in place restricts civilian access to the aliens. Only government agencies, scientists, and military personnel are allowed to try and make contact with the aliens. They're trying to minimize the number of variables that might lead to confusion or hostilities. 72 hours after a peaceful first contact, the protocol remains the same. The government works with scientists and other nations to try and talk to the aliens. We still need to know why they're here and what they want. Since there has been no conflict, it does not seem like our new visitors want to wipe us off the face of the earth. We've now advanced past the first contact protocols and are just trying to make sense of the situation. Under ideal circumstances, we would eventually find a way to communicate with the aliens. They would share their knowledge and technology, we would join a federation of galactic civilizations and explore the final frontiers of space. Humanity would spread across the stars in peaceful exploration and missions to bring other species to a thriving galactic community. Unfortunately, this probably isn't the way things would go if aliens ever did come to Earth. In a more likely scenario, things would go very differently and very badly for the human species during our first contact protocol, 24 hours after a hostile first contact. As we signal the alien ship to try and communicate with them, they vaporize our scientists and destroy all reconnaissance planes. Massive doors on the alien craft open, and an invasion fleet swarms down to Earth. It's now time to put the second part of the first contact contingency plan into place. We hoped we'd never have to do this during our first contact with aliens, but it's now become inevitable. Throughout human history, whenever a more advanced civilization came into contact with a less advanced one, there tended to be exploitation and war. The civilization with more state-of-the-art weapons and technology typically took whatever they wanted and conquered the lands of their adversaries. There's no reason to think that an advanced alien civilization would not do the same to the Earth. The United States launches its full military strength at the alien ship, but it's not enough. They plead with their allies for help. The British Royal Air Force and the combined strength of all the nations in the European Union attack the alien ship. Unfortunately, humanity's aircraft are no match for the aliens' superior weapons and shielding. We launch ballistic missiles from naval vessels and silos at the UFO. However, nuclear weapons are kept off the table for the time being. We don't want to destroy ourselves in the process of fighting off the alien threat. This has been the plan from the beginning if the aliens became hostile. Nuclear weapons are to be used as a last resort only. 48 hours after a hostile first contact. Unfortunately, not everyone on the planet can be counted on. There are certain countries that see the conflict between the United States, its allies, and their aliens as an opportunity. They launch invasion forces to conquer lands that they've had their eye on for some time. They're not allying with the aliens, and the aliens are not allying with the rogue humans, but each of them wants something and they're taking it. It might seem unbelievable that we'd need to consider the actions of other countries while the planet is being invaded by aliens, but it's something that must be considered even in this scenario. Humans are now fighting the aliens and each other, but the threat from space is the main focus for the United States and its allies. The hostile alien protocol dictates that the extraterrestrials must be stopped at all costs. Military officials look to scientists to help determine their next course of action. If the aliens seem to be using biotechnology or have minimal armor, a biological weapon might be effective against them. The US launches a non-explosive missile loaded with viruses, bacteria, and other deadly pathogens through the hull of the alien ship. The hope is that when the pathogens are released, they'll kill off any alien life forms that are trying to invade the Earth. If the extraterrestrials seem to be heavily reliant on technology, humans could drop EMP bombs onto the alien vessel. This would cause all the electronic functions to cease and the ship to fall out of the sky. 72 hours after a hostile first contact, it becomes clear that even our most deadly weapons aren't strong enough to stop the alien threat. There's only one thing left to do. If the human species can't have the planet, no one can. We launch a nuclear missile at the alien ship. It detonates. Everyone looking toward the sky is temporarily blinded. A cheer goes out across the country as we think we defeated the alien threat. But as the smoke and fire begins to subside, we see that the alien vessel is still there. The extraterrestrial technology is far more advanced than we could have possibly imagined. The final order is given. All nuclear missiles from around the world are launched at the UFO in hopes that we can destroy it. Our planet will become irradiated and will plunge into nuclear winter, but it's better than giving up our home to an alien species that wants to strip it of its resources and enslave humanity. It's important to note that there is no way to know exactly how well prepared we are for first contact with aliens until it happens. SETI and other science organizations have protocols in place for when they find an alien signal. We know the United States and other governments such as the United Kingdom and Japan have a first contact protocol, but these documents are classified and we can only extrapolate bits and pieces of what they would look like from what has been leaked. The scary part is that according to some of the greatest minds of science, making contact with an alien species is likely to be the end of humanity. We know that any extraterrestrials that can make it from their home world to Earth will likely be light years beyond us technologically. We also know that since the universe is a vast place, an alien craft that comes directly to Earth likely did so with a purpose. If they just wanted resources or to explore, there are plenty of resource-rich uninhabited worlds throughout the galaxy. If the aliens are aiming for Earth, it probably means that they want something from our planet, and they don't care whether humans are living on it or not. Stephen Hawking, one of the most brilliant minds that ever lived, strongly believed that humankind would likely be wiped out by any alien civilization that came to Earth. Hawking predicted that such advanced aliens would probably become nomads, looking to conquer and colonize whatever planets they could reach. So who knows what the limits would be? But not all scientists are as pessimistic as Stephen Hawking. Seth Shostak, a senior astronomer at the SETI Institute, believes that any hostile alien civilization that is cruising around the galaxy would likely have already picked up radio signals from Earth and come to conquer us. The fact that we've been left alone to develop on our own might indicate that any alien species exploring the galaxy right now just doesn't find us interesting enough to bother with. Or in an even more optimistic scenario, they're waiting until we're more technologically advanced before welcoming us into their space federation. The truth of the matter is we are not prepared for first contact with aliens. Since going to the moon, humanity has greatly reduced the amount of time and money we invest in space exploration. This means that we're probably better prepared back in the late 60s and 70s for alien contact than we are today. Our first contact protocols are likely outdated, and any aliens we come into contact with will either not bother with such a technologically inferior species as humans, or they'll just make us their pets.
UFOs and alien encounters have been reported since antiquity. Yet in the 1950s, an explosion of UFO sightings rocked the planet and continue to this day. Although they are often harmless events, there is a darker side to the UFO phenomenon, the alleged abduction or visitation of human beings by alien visitors. Hello and welcome to another special episode of the Infographics Show's Greatest Mysteries. Today we're taking a look at the alien abduction phenomenon with two of the
I wonder what would happen if we mixed blood with a parasitic worm. Well, I mixed a drop of my blood with a parasitic worm, and what you are about to see is absolutely remarkable. This blue worm here is swimming through my blood cells, and it is massive compared to my blood cells. Nothing happened at first, but then I noticed something incredible. A single white blood cell began to move towards the worm. Let's take a closer look. The white blood cell circled here is moving towards the worm. It then attaches to the surface of the worm. Watch this again. Can you see the white blood cell attached to the worm? Here is another white blood cell finding its way to the surface of the worm. The white blood cell then attaches to the worm. This is what your body does to protect you. This is absolutely marvelous. You are beautifully complex, and that, my friend, is pretty darn cool. I wonder what would happen if we mixed blood with a parasitic worm. Well, I mixed a drop of my blood with a parasitic worm, and what you are about to see is absolutely remarkable. This blue worm here is I wonder what would happen.
This is the world's highest gear ratio gearbox ever created. Can you guess the gear ratio? How long do you think it'll take for the very last gear to spin? This other gearbox that I made would take 25,000 years to spin, but this one completely blows that one out of the water. The number of atoms in the observable universe is roughly 10 to the 82nd power. We take the 10-to-1 gear ratio and raise it to the number of pairs of gears in this entire gearbox. So the gear ratio of this gearbox is 10 raised to the 169th power. So this gearbox has a significantly higher gear ratio than the number of atoms in the observable universe. And how fast would I have to rotate the first gear in order to get the last gear to rotate one time before the heat death of the universe? I would have to spin the first gear faster than the speed of light. This is basically impossible, or I just created a time machine. This is the world's highest gear ratio gearbox ever created. Can you guess the gear ratio? How long do you think it'll take for the very last gear to spin? This other gearbox that I
Experts examine every part, feel every detail, taste every flavor, enjoy expertly